Hello everyone, Thranxes here, and welcome back to Conan Exiles, episode 114, the construction episode. That's right, today we're going to finish the tower. I'm looking at it, I'm not sure how much more it's going to go, but I know it definitely needs to finish up whatever it's doing. So let's go get it done. We're going to do things a little differently this time because we have a lot of ground we need to cover. So I'm going to be trying to do as much as I can. And we're going to fast forward through it so that we can get to a finished product. Start talking about how we're going to decorate and withstand the purge. So let's get going. So the first thing that I knew I wanted to do was take care of this floor area and the stairwell. So we'd pretty much already decided in the comments that we wanted the stairwell to be open. So we had these little overhangs kind of underneath the stairs here, so we had to get rid of those as well. At this point, I started to go up and took out the ceiling and realized that's where the chests were. They had all our materials and all of our building pieces in them. Luckily though, there's a perk you can get when you max out your encumbrance, which enables you to move at full speed while over encumbered. As you can see, we continued this process all the way until it was fully open and got the stairwell actually looking pretty nice. After that, we went back to the top and started guiding the stairwell up to what would become the new floor on the next level. This floor, being very important, is where we're going to build the deck that reaches out to the outside. Putting down all these ceiling tiles, we didn't really have any support issues and it went pretty smoothly. So I started to build up the pillar in the center because I wanted the stairs to change. Only problem is we don't have the stability on that center column. It's actually not nearly as strong as that third wall. So little did I know that was going to be a problem. I decided to go ahead and fence the outside. Might as well do that because I know I'm going to want fences here. Afterwards, I thought we would go and work on the place where we're going to connect the elevator to the tower. At this point, I bricked off of the tower just to get our leveling surface where the elevator will go to be the same plane as the top of the tower. Go all the way up to the top and start eyeballing where exactly this tower is supposed to meet up with the elevator. It's kind of a balancing act up here, where the stability is and what elevation I need to be at. A little bit of trial and error, but ultimately we ended up figuring it out. Once we got good and lined up, the first thing was to bring an elevator to take us down so we could get back up easily. And there we go. So we ride the elevator down and back up in order to help us put down walls. Makes this process a lot easier, which will enable us to support a building up here. Now to attach the elevator to the tower. Only thing is, we've got to take care of this area first. We need more support. So we can just go nuts with the walls here. Got a lot of windowed walls. The requirement to make buildings actually changed. And now, instead of using a lot of resin and shaped wood, it's actually just one or two pieces of insulated wood. And since insulated wood is made with one piece of dried wood and one resin, it actually enables a lot more building options with a lot less materials. So in this way, I didn't feel the need to hold back, even though it might be a little bit of overkill. Once I got the elevator connected, I racked my brain on trying to figure out how exactly the structure was going to look and tie into the rest of the tower. I knew that this floor was going to be the most difficult, and so I spent the most time here with trial and error, trying to get the stability of that center column squared away so that I could continue the stairs around it, only to realize that wasn't going to work. We in fact needed the support off of that third ring, and only after we put the walls up to brace the stairs were we able to get the stairs to continue upwards. Here I'm trying to figure out where the entrance is going to go to the elevator room here. Once we get the stairs up a little higher, get up to the top of where the elevator is going to be, and we seal the stairs off and put a little platform. And this way we have a solid foundation that we can start building the next level off of. This level is actually 4 stories tall instead of 2. So it puts the tower up even higher. We're already running into support issues, so it's going to end up needing pillars. Only, it took me a second to realize the pillars are going to be dictated by the elevator, as far as where the pillars will be located and what their pattern is. So we had to do a little bit of changing things around. Also, I hadn't yet got the hammer, so I was still guesstimating about stability. Once we got some pillars up, building out to them was easy. And it enabled us to work on the second to last floor of the tower. Having the perk to move around while this over-encumbered really is what made this possible. Now, I've cut out a lot of parts, and we're speeding up time at about 2.5 times the speed, even with parts edited out. But this construction was about a 5-hour process. And that doesn't include the gathering of the resources. Being able to hold everything on my inventory and move around while over-encumbered probably cut the time in half. It might have taken even longer. As you can see here, we made the realization that more pillars are going to be needed. Just trying to close in all the gaps and get the stability squared away so that we can call this floor good. Only, we're going to have to drive the third wall up all the way. I was trying to avoid it, for what reason I'm not sure, but at this point I realized that the third wall just needs to come up all the way, which means that these stairs are going to have to be enclosed into some sort of building. They need to be able to pass their support up as much as possible. Stability is a tough commodity to come by. So I figured that's pretty good. I'll head back over here and actually work on this a little bit. Because right now, this looks pretty bleak. Right now it's just kind of a scaffolding. So we're going to take a lot more of these frames that we have so many of. Just sort of build the building out of all of these pieces. And we have lots of materials on us to make more if we need to. In that way, those that play on multiplayer games and specialize to have encumbrance really do become the builders. Okay, now that we have the walls, we're going to do the ceiling. But it's not befitting of our tower. It has to be impressive, so we're going to need some roof pieces. So we get a few corners down, a couple of straight pieces, and some angled pieces. We'll put some interesting slopes on this tower. Got a little bit of stability problem there, but you can see I actually have the hammer now, so I can see what I'm doing. Corner pieces look really sharp. And it's coming together. Just don't fall. So we take the elevator down and up a few times just to be able to place walls down where they go, and we have a bit of a structure now. So do that a few times, and the tower on the side is done. We can go back and focus our efforts to the main tower, working on the second to last floor. We have everything stabilized to walk on, we just need to get some walls up. Once the walls are up, we realize the stability battle has only just begun. Stability is again a rare commodity up here. Pillars might be the answer, but I'm trying to limit the harsh stone look on this floor, because ultimately this floor is going to be the personal living quarters. In that way, I wanted the room to be as soft and as open as possible, but when making compromises for stability, sometimes you have to change up your original plans. This is what I meant about the third row being supported all the way up to the top. Instead of having an open stairwell, we needed to enclose it into a building, which really made some of these pillars obsolete. To be quite sure, we could have done that from the start and saved ourselves some time. After that, I moved pillars to the center of the room, realizing we weren't going to have an open floor plan. Using the pillars, we could get ourselves a solid foundation in the center for which we'd be able to build off of, because the pillars in the center are still pretty well supported. At this point, it's just a battle to get the rest of the floor in, and finding out which pieces are missing helps us identify weaknesses down below. One such weakness, although not really a weakness, is that I didn't want the harsh stone pillars to be facing in the building. So after I got them up, I went ahead and decided to wrap a pillar around it with the outer face pointing towards the interior. Then I started putting walls up around the stairs in order to make sure that the support was spread out to the areas that needed it the most. This created an awkward shape with two passages, one going in and one going up, but in the end it enabled us to put the floor down, or the roof down, however you want to look at it, so that we didn't have any more gaps. After that, I had some consideration as to how I wanted these fences to look. I thought about using crenulated walls. As you can see, I experimented a little bit with the look of it, but in the end I decided archers aren't going to shoot from up here, and I don't want to take the risk of falling down. So ultimately I decided to just stick with the regular walls, or the fences. Here I started putting frames in the center because I didn't just want a barren top. I wanted something of a beacon, of a light source at the top. So I decided to make a little one-story bubble up top, and again realized that the stability issues we had before were a thing of the past, because now we had our third wall reinforcing up. From here I just put down a series of frames, ended up dropping some roof tiles down onto it to get it kind of nice and pointed. Then I was going to put fences up around it, and I started thinking about the profile. Thought surely I could do something that looks better than that. So we got the corner tops to the roof pieces to branch on over on the corners. We did a little bit of restructuring to make sure we had the support to attach the roof at all the corners. Right into the night. From here, it was time to head back across the elevator to the other side. And there you have it. Night has fallen. Our work is done. We've put a lot of time into this. And I don't know how much we're going to get into a single episode, but I thought I would give a tour of the structure as we began to decorate it. Now, I couldn't have done this without maxing my encumbrance, so that when over-encumbered, you can move at full speed. That actually made this tremendously easier, as I was able to load up on tons and tons and tons of supplies, and as long as I avoided combat, because I don't exactly have a lot of strength right now, but I would be okay, and luckily we had stockpiled lots of resources, so it actually wasn't too bad. Now the tower, as it stands, has been sealed up, so no longer can you get in over here. This wall is completely closed. In fact, to get into the tower, you have to ascend this tower, which was sort of by design all along. Do I still have my torch? I do. Good deal. Okay. I also changed out my armor. As you'll see, I realized some of the armor I had when it converted to this Cimmerian steel with this purple border around it. Very strong. Much stronger than the star metal armor I was wearing, which has now been renamed. So a lot of changes in the update. A lot of things to keep up with. Now, this tower will take you to the loading section of our tower. And barring tearing down the walls, this is the only way in. So as such, we'll defend the base of that tower, but we can always pull up the elevator if need be. And here we have the loading area. This is just kind of an open deck. I wanted an open deck on the tower before it continued. I thought about continuing to go higher, but again, this tower is already overkill as it is. It was really more about building something grand and finished and intricate. But now we have so much more to explore, so we don't want to spend too much time here. That being said, I do want to show it off. These stairs, this is by design. You can just jump to these if you want to get to the elevator quickly. It looks a little weird, but you won't notice it if you're on these stairs as much. So now these stairs are going to go all the way down, and that's where we're going to start. So let's start by going all the way down to the bottom. As we listen to the mammoths. There we go, and we've changed up the bottom a little bit. So we're trying out the improved blacksmith's bench. We've got some of these improved furnaces. I don't think I put anything back in this one after I emptied it. My inventory is kind of a mess, but that's okay because it doesn't slow me down, which is really liberating. I think this person, this thrall here was... Yeah, I just started making those bricks before I walked back out to start the episode. They're already done. We've got these improved firebowl cauldrons. They've finished theirs as well. But by and large, the bottom is complete, as it was. It might get rearranged. This dancer's not going to stay here, obviously, but this is where all of our infrastructure for construction was. Now, the second floor, this is where we're going to do sort of like a barracks. This is going to be like the living quarters for all of the thralls, soldiers, and servants that we have living in here. This is sort of what I want the room to look like. So my plan is we're going to... Oh, look! I found you. I totally found you. Well, we're going to put you here for now. And you're here too. I thought I'd lost you. I thought I'd lost those thralls. I thought they were gone forever. Okay, so it starts like this. We're going to go with a bed here, and then a bed here. Sort of cramped living areas, I know. Then we're going to put a round table like this. Some chairs. Gotta have a place to sit, right? Then we need what? We need a couple of bowls, pitcher, drinking horn. Let's get ourselves some light. Very, very nice. It's looking good. Okay, the only thing we need is more inventory space. So I think one of the things we can afford to do, actually, let's see, if we put this up here, and then we can put this one up here. And then kind of put this rug right here in the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. Each room can have little variances in placement and style. I think for the most part, though, I want the objects to be the same. We might even put something over in this corner. We could do another table. We'll see. I'm going to decorate the rest of the rooms like this, and then we'll continue on with the tour. From there, we're going to put these cupboards in and some of these pots. I don't know what we're going to put in these cupboards, but I kind of like the look of it. Add a few of these shelves. We're going to need maybe a few more rugs, some tapestries. So this is a pretty good little sleeping area for our thralls and our soldiers. So the next level is going to be sort of the armory. So we're going to put more of these cupboards up here, and then we're going to leave these areas empty. Really what I'd like to do is put some sort of weapon display stuff here. So let's see, if I go bow and then maybe these daggers and the Kingslayer polearm. They don't really display though do they? I'm a little bummed about that. I was kind of hoping that the weapons would actually go on display, but that's okay. We have a ton of these weapons kicking around that we don't need. And we're going to need even more to arm our thralls. Now, I am going to store this veneer heavy armor. Actually, I probably could give that to you now that I'm thinking about it, so let's go ahead and do that. Yes. Cimmerian Fighter 3, you're going to get all of this. Head and torso and legs. Very good. What do you have here? Hardened steel greatsword. That's probably good for now. Sure, why not? We sort of have a guard now in the armory. That's good. Good, good. We'll move you right here, though. Right there. Whew, easy. Don't swing. We're going to need... Can we store weapons in... Or, I'm sorry, weapons. Of course we can. Nah, we can't put the arrows in there. We can put some of the arrows in here, though. We can sort of use a cupboard here for ammunition. And then, let's see. I want one of these to store. I made a lot of extra Vanir fur armor. We actually had quite a bit of fur stockpiled. So there we go. So we'll have some for thralls once they get converted. I think I made one of each. It looks like I did. And then we have more of these weapons to put up here. Let's try a single weapon rack and see if I can put a weapon in this. You can, but it won't hold it at all. I'm sure that'll be changed eventually. We're gonna put bows sort of all over the place. This is where mostly we're going to have a lot of archers. I think we'll include some of these other weapons, but just a handful here and there. So we'll go ahead and I think we're going to put these triple weapon displays here at every little intersection. Just like this. And then of course we're going to need some shield displays. Let's see, maybe we put one here. Single weapon here. A couple of single weapons, another triple. Shield on that side. Shield on this side. Okay, looking good. And we'll stock all these up with weapons. I don't see a need to do that right now, although I did make some extras and I dug some up from everywhere. But you get the idea. This is the armory, so I'm going to go ahead and throw all this stuff out of my inventory, or at least that which I had planned on putting out here, and we'll go to the next floor. Alright, so the next floor is going to be the hearth, so to speak, where we're going to have our cooking stuff, we're going to have dining areas, probably lots and lots of dining areas, because we're going to have lots and lots of thralls. But also just because we made the tower so unbearably large that we've got to find reasons for all the floors and rooms, which we're also going to have. What, these cauldrons look pretty neat. We could do some of these, probably do a cabinet actually in between those. Do this cauldron kind of over here with a couple of these jugs. Maybe even one of these fancy ones. I'm not sure. It's all just kind of playing it by ear. We have a lot of space to fill, though, and I would like to make things that sort of look good. I suppose I could have put the tables in front of the windows, but we're not trying to be distracted here. Let's just get everyone fed. We can also, we can put some of these pictures up here, I think. And then don't we have, I think I made some variations of pitchers, didn't I? Oh yeah, look at these decanters. These look a little different. Sure they do. Wonderful. We're just going to kind of put them all over. Maybe even put something up here on the stove. Sure, yeah, make it a little more decorative. I like that, actually. In fact, I think we're going to put this pot sort of right on there like that. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this floor is going to be the hearth. I don't think we're going to have time to decorate everything now. It does need to be decorated, though, and I am going to do it, but we need to get this episode. We have so much to do. We're going to have to just condense it maybe into 2 episodes. I don't know. So this floor is likely just going to be the leisure floor where people can just come to relax, maybe where we'll have all our hunting trophies, because I want to put all of our heads of the animals we've killed up and get some decorations going. And then this is the last floor before the deck. I haven't thought much about what I want to do here, but then you come up here. This is the deck. This is where the elevator joins, the horizontal elevator. It meets from across over there. And the elevator, while it does stick out on this tower, enters over here into this building so it doesn't change the profile of the tower, which was important to me, although it's sort of just gee whiz. This is the that's what this floor is all about. So out here, I imagine we'll have a bunch of lights. Maybe not too many decorations. Maybe we'll hang some of the colorful banners up here, although I don't want to mess with our color scheme too much, but putting some banners up here could be cool. Some sort of decorations, and then of course lights. Going up one more floor from that, this is our personal quarters right here. The bed is going to go over here, maybe have a changing screen, have a, just pillows and decorations, just stuff to make it look nice. And then up here we have the actual top. This is just going to be storage. And then this is the outpost. I don't know if I like the way this fence looks. We're sort of mulling that over and trying to come to terms with the fact of, are we or aren't we going to leave the fence like this? And then, of course, this top little open area peak like this with a bonfire in the middle, which wasn't lit. I had to light it, but I think this looks good. I'm fairly happy with this. And I feel confident in saying that the tower is finished, which means we can start working on the purge. Now, the purge meter is filling up as I was doing fighting. Now, since I've been building and not fighting, the purge meter is not filling up anymore. But I imagine that it will fill up pretty quickly once we're ready to start the purge. We're going to need more thralls to defend the tower first. We barely have enough archers, even though I made a bunch of weapons. And some armor. We need more thralls to defend us. And then you know what else I might do, actually, just because it looks pretty, is to get some more of these tapestries out and continue the trend of hanging tapestries in the stairwell. Now I am going to work on the decorations in between this episode and the next one. But after we do the purge, we have to spend at least a little bit of time checking out the jungle. I dare say I would be very remiss if I did not do that before this series came to a conclusion, and we're definitely under the gun to make progress before the full release drops. All right, where are we at here? That's the leisure room. We could make a bunch of pillows, but I'm not too worried about that just yet. We can put, do we have any more of these bowls? I think I can make some more. It's not the end of the world, but right, I do think we're going to need some more bowls. I like the way the tables look all decorated. We might put some lights in here. What kind of lights should we put in here? Maybe the hanging braziers. Let's do that. So we're going to do that real quick. It's really nice not having to worry about my inventory. But really, with all the editing and everything that we're doing, it's a little too tough to try to make the entire episode out of just all of the building and everything. Oh, it's over here. So we're going to hang out together while we do some of this next part, which is to make some of these, yes, hanging brazier, and these are the longer ones. I'm not sure. Let's make one of each, and we'll just see what they look like. This is pretty much just what I've been doing when I'm trying to figure out if I want to do stuff or not, is to just make one of them and see how they look. So that one versus this one. Okay, so one of them is longer than the other. And that looks like the number one, which is kind of what it looked like with the chain. You can see here that this is like a hook onto a chain, and that's just a straight chain. We're going to need one of those for the bedroom as well. Oh, look at these! You can make torches out of the glowing goop now. Oh, man. We could have blue... well, that's the other thing, too. We can have blue flames everywhere if we figure out this witchfire stuff. That's pretty neat. Yeah. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We're absolutely getting ahead of ourselves. Let's make 8 of these for now. And then, let's see. We're going to have to go get more stone. Although I do like the way the wooden bowls look. Barrels and an ale keg. We are going to need a brewing section, which, okay, so I think the top floor, right before the elevator, is going to be storage. We're going to put a bunch of crates, a bunch of barrels, a bunch of processing stuff up there to brew ale and mead, and maybe even also just to store a lot of stuff. Did I still have the crates on me? I had crates, yes. So we have all kinds of size crates. Let's see what these are like. Made a few of them and I haven't even tried them yet. Lots of new things on the feats to learn, new recipes, new things to make. It's going to take a little bit of time for me to get familiar with them all. So let's kind of just hang these right in the middle of these areas here. Gives us some light. I wouldn't say it gives us a ton of light, but it does brighten things up a little bit. I'm good with that. Sure, yeah. Oh! Oh! Isn't there a fireplace and hearth? Yes. With 20 steel bars. I'm sure I have those. We're going to put these crates down first, though. Nope, that is the leisure floor. This one is going to be for storage. Let's see, if I do a crate, can I stack them on top of one another? Can I? No, does not appear like it. That's fine. We can put a few crates down like this. Alright, let's see what we have here. Ooh, that small crate doesn't hold much. Ooh, neither does that one. Okay, so the fancy chests actually hold a lot more than the crates. That's good to know. We might leave the crates anyways because they look nice. Then again, we might not, too. Let's not... What are you doing? What is going on? It's like spinning in a circle. It can't figure out what it wants to do. It's a little scary. Now, if I put this to hang up here, is it going to straighten itself? It's not. There it goes. Boom. There you go. That looks good. That looks good. Can't really put the rugs on the stairs, but what I was doing is I was putting the rugs out of the stairs. So when you leave the stairwell, you kind of have a rug. We could also do them, you know, in front of the workplaces and next to, well, I don't know what I want to do in these big open areas. We're going to do more tables. We're also going to need a lot of food storage. We could do the ale brewing down here. Yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense. We could just end up doing the ale brewing down here. Okay, I think that's where we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode as I continue to throw down some of these storage boxes just to get them out of my inventory. We are going to have to... Let's get some light here so we can see what we're doing. I'm not going to stick with this light long term, but for now it'll work. Maybe not all of the boxes are stacked up perfectly right, because like some of them are right here in front of the windows, like that, and then another one here. And we're punching boxes, we're so mad. There you go, this room's going to be kind of cramped, but this room is going to be where we have all sorts of miscellaneous storage. It looks hodgepodge. We'll sort it out at another time. I think I'm going to store a lot of decorative stuff in here for now. But really, that's where we're going to have to wrap up the episode. So we did the tour. At this point, we need thralls, we need decorations. We're going to have to make more progress if we're going to continue and be ready for the purge. So thank you so much for joining me. This has been Conan Exiles, episode 114. Whew, I'm not sure how much of the building is actually going to make it into the final video, so this video may or may not be less than 30 minutes. If it is a shorter video, I apologize. Just know that it was hours upon hours of gameplay to get us here. But I hope you've had a good time watching, because as always, I've had a good time playing. So come back next time as we continue to prepare for the purge before release by working on thralls, and also getting some more decorations up and fine-tuning this tower so that it actually looks impressive when we're ready to defend it. But until next time, take care.